So I just got done watching The Walking Dead season 11, episode 3, Hunted. It was pretty good, even though it did lack the Commonwealth, which is the storyline that I was most looking forward to and most looking forward to seeing for season 11. You know, the main meat. But I feel like they just don't really have a lot to do with it because of missing common characters, so they're kind of just dipping it in there. But we got to see some other stuff in there that I'll talk about. I got notes here I'm going to read off, and we'll go through it. I'm really sorry that my computer always says it, but you know, it is pretty loud, pretty noisy. So that's what that is in the background. I don't know why it makes that noise. It just does. So anyway, I did not notice my video was kind of lagging whenever I was watching the episode, but I heard that we got a new intro, some new stuff in the intro for the Reapers. Maybe that's true, maybe not. You have to tell me in the comments. But that's cool if we did, because you gotta think, if this is going to be the last season, then this is going to be our last opportunity to add new stuff in the intro. So you might as well not wait till next season to put the Reaper stuff in there. You might as well just put it in there. You know, put it in there now. And then Daryl, so the intro scene was cool with all the slow-mo. Pretty much everybody gets hurt, I think, except for Maggie, which kind of plays into her feeling, you know, guilty and all that. But the knife slow-mo thrown at Daryl when he dodges it was pretty cool. While Gabriel gets like nicked in the neck, like pretty serious stuff, and he gets stabbed in the leg, which doesn't really seem to bother him throughout the episode, does it, by the way? But yeah, everybody got pretty messed up from the Reapers, and they axed off pretty much all of Maggie's, extra group, which is like, they were kind of just introduced in to get killed off, like many characters are in the show. But whatever, it is what it is. So then we get to see some cool stuff with how much they are struggling for food in the episodes, which again, I feel like we've seen a lot in the COVID episodes. Horrible episodes, most of them. Well. There was one bad one in there, the soup episode, I always say. And I have on a note here, I got PTSD from the pantry scene when Aaron and Carol are talking in the pantry, because I don't want to see that damn pantry, because that was the source of one of the worst episodes of Walking Dead ever, where Carol's making soup in the pantry. But anyway, you do get to see how they're struggling for food. So Magna is trying to shoot at the birds because she's so hungry. And Rosita's picking like mushrooms out there, which are the Carol comes up and says they're like, it's something funny, they're gonna make her trip or something, trip balls. So yeah, you do get to see their struggle, and they need the horses to move the grain, and it's just they're on their last leg. Alexandria looks really cool, by the way, because it's all destroyed and looks so different than what we've seen for the past few seasons. Nice contrast there. I think I've said that before. Also, are they doing a different filter? It seems very blue. I think they might do that filter to make it seem kind of, more tragic or whatever. Maybe, but it does. It looks blue, right? It looks different. Maybe darker. But, I'll get to that later. There was a scene with Judith where she says Mom always comes back. When you got all the kids, you got Rick's son, RJ, and Glenn Jr., Herschel at the table. That's crazy, right? From where we started to where we are now. I wonder I want a scene like, maybe it'd be too cringy or dumb, but I'd still love it if we had a scene like where RJ and Herschel like parallel Rick and Glenn, like maybe let's say RJ gets in trouble and Herschel is like, hey dumbass, come here. It's funny when kids curse. I think that would be funny, but no, they probably wouldn't do that. It's just too on the nose. But yeah, so Judas says Mom always comes back, so it makes you wonder. I got something popping up on my computer. Makes you wonder if Michonne's actually going to come back this season, because I don't feel like they would put a line in there like that unless she was, or I don't know. That's the only reason I would see them, because usually in shows when characters go away and they're not coming back, they'll bring them up as little as possible, So I don't know, but then again, to be realistic, she just wouldn't talk about Michonne. Let's see, Maggie, we see her get chased by a Reaper in a dark building, which was cool. And she puts the bottles on the door to be extra careful. And it was really creepy because, you hear it running up the stairs, I do believe. And then also she lights a lighter. I was going to make it the thumbnail for this video, but I don't think I'm going to. I think I'm going to go with something else. But she lights the lighter, and you see the face mask behind her, which was really creepy. It's like some horror movie shit. And I really liked it. It was really, like I said, really creepy. So then Negan saves Maggie in this episode, kind of like we were all expecting them to do from the beginning, because they kind of bonded in the train. Not bonded, but Maggie put some trust in Negan, so Negan's kind of giving it back, I guess, and repaying her for that. So he runs and throws the Reaper off of her, which was cool. And then later on in the episode, I think he saves her again. He pulls her away from one of Maggie's comrades. Got eaten, I don't know, some girl. We'll talk about that later, but Negan pulls her away so Maggie doesn't get killed herself. And then there was, that's what I already said, no comment about this episode. Maggie and Negan's leader clash was really cool. It has been, and it gets ramped up more and more in this episode, because slowly but surely they're the only ones who are really making it alive. It's just their leader spirit or whatever, or luck. But they have differences in opinion because Alden gets hurt. Maggie wants to obviously help and save Alden, which is kind of strange because it seemed like she was so cold on the train, like to do what she's got to do to survive, but then she wants to save Alden. But I guess Alden hadn't done anything to betray her like the guy on the train had. But they just have differences in opinion. Negan's kind of cold and like, oh, just leave him. But he helps him along for the most part for Maggie. At one point, he did kind of sit back and see if Alden would get got, but when Alden doesn't, Negan kind of smiles and he's like, okay, well, he's pretty tough anyway. I do think Alden will make it in this episode. They did end up leaving him in a building off by himself to kind of survive. Left him with some food, which is like liquid gold to them now because they're all starving. Negan, of course, thought that was stupid, but like I said, their leader personalities just clash in different ways, and I really love it, and I'm so glad because we didn't really get their characters in the comic really interacting like this at all, and I think this is only a result of having such a diminished cast, is why, and it's really produced some good stuff, with Negan and Maggie for sure. Anyway, so then Abraham is mentioned by Rosita, which I feel like that's only, maybe not, but I think it has something to do with Michael, what was his name, Michael Cutlass, who played Abraham, being so involved with the show, maybe, and wanting his voice in there somehow. I have no idea what he would be trying to tell her. Like she says, he's trying to tell me something in my dreams, but then he gets shot in the head, I think she says, which would have been cooler if he got bashed in the head, or maybe she did say that. But I have no idea what Abraham would be trying to say. But yeah, so Abraham was mentioned, which is cool, always having characters from the past brought up. Magna gives Carol a hug. I don't remember if they bond in the past. I feel like they have, but it just felt kind of strange for Magna to do that just because she's been pretty cold-hearted and hated by the fans in the past because she is kind of just cold-hearted, right? So it feels like they were kind of maybe just doing this to make the character more likable. I don't know. Or then maybe Carol and Magna have related some way in the past. I don't really remember. But I just want to mention that. The horse stuff where they all find the horses and it just worked out where they ran out in front of them. It was a little cheesy, right? It was just a little bit cheesy. But with how dark things have been for the entire course of Season 11, you don't want it to have the feel that Season 7 had, I guess, where there really was no hope at all throughout. So I guess it was fine, to have those little moments in there. I feel like the colors were a little bit brighter, right? Springtime's starting to come, so things are starting to brighten up. And it was nice. It was fun, the whole horse catching stuff, nice change of hope in that. So Gabriel finds a Reaper in the woods who was injured, and he did pretty much what I wanted him to do when he sees that Gabriel's a preacher, and he's like, oh, pray for me, whatever, because he's dying. And Gabriel was like, no, God's not here anymore, that line that we hear in the trailer. And he knifes him in the head. But what I wanted so bad, it would have been brutal, right? It would make Gabriel a pretty dark character. But I wanted him to curb stomp him. I wanted him to smash his head up against the log with his foot. That's just where my head went with it, right? Am I sick? Maybe. Maggie tells Negan he's free. And so Maggie tells Negan that you can go off if you want to, if you really got such a problem, which is interesting because it was always a conflict in the comic. Like, if we let him go, what if he goes out there and recruits people and starts the Sabres again and then comes back, right? But she's pretty much cool with letting him go at this point. So again, it does lead into Maggie does trust Negan, right? She not trust, but she really doesn't believe right in front of her, and other people too. My computer is saying it's having issues during the recording program. What else is new? Maggie said a weird line too. She said like, you may be able to lie to everybody else like you're lie to everybody else, but and you lie to yourself too. Her accent, it sounded weird. It sounded like she said lunch. I had to play it back a few times, and she said lying, but it sounded like lunch to me. Anybody else tell me if you couldn't really understand her accent? There was an awesome burned zombie that they found in the woods that Negan finds, which is just awesome, just effects and that, where it was tied up and it said Judas and it was burned. I'm not sure what that was foreshadowing or not. I didn't really put too much thought into it, but it looked cool. And then the dialogue, it's just so good. It's so natural. I don't know what it is that makes the dialogue in other seasons, or Fear the Walking Dead especially, feel so cheesy and put on. But there was Maggie and Alden were talking about, how he's got to keep going or whatever. I think he'll be fine. I think I've said that again. He just looked like he had a scratch across his chest. It's not like his guts were hanging out. I don't know. But anyway, so their dialogue, just not just between them, just between everybody. I just noticed. I was like, wow, it's just so good. It's such an improvement since Angela Kane came on. I think it's just gotten better, and it can really go a long way and make a difference. Nobody was talking in ways that you really had to think about what they were trying to say. It's just all so natural again. I love it. Only thing that I would say that was maybe a little bit on the cringe nose was when, not cringe no, but Gabriel said, like, God isn't here anymore. And he was by himself, and just something there. Okay, yeah, he's not. Whatever, And that's the only thing out of the whole thing. Even there was a scene, I don't know if I put it in here, where Carol and Magna talk, where Magna says, Magna asked Carol to stop giving, I can't think of her name right now, but stop giving hope about the sister coming back, about Connie coming back. She just asked her pretty much plainly, and then just walked away. It didn't feel melodramatic or anything. The dialogue is so good. Let's see. Oh, but when Agatha gets killed, what I was going to say about that is I wish they would, I don't know, because you got to think, if there's survivors that have made it for so long and then they just get bit like that, it feels like I just don't believe it would happen. But unless, what I wanted them to do, she stabs a zombie, gets bit in the arm by another zombie coming over here that she just didn't notice. She thought she had time to get to it. I don't know. But the problem is she still had the knife in her hand. So she could have just went like this and shoved it away or anything. So what I would have liked better is for her to stab this zombie. Knife falls out from the weight of the zombie falling down. She goes over. She doesn't have a knife anymore. She tries to shove this zombie off her. It's too heavy and it falls on her and bites her, right? So just stuff that I wish they worked on a little bit better in the show. Pretty much throughout with that. I mean, there's a lot of that crap throughout, but it's fine. It's if that's my really only big complaint about through the episode. They didn't really show the knife in her hand. Maybe that was why, but I know she still had it in her hand. I'm pretty sure. And then you got a scene that's messed up. So Carol does what she has to do to survive. As always, she kills a horse to eat because I'm pretty sure she takes it off by herself, slits its throat. I don't think it was sick or anything. And so Carol's killed kids, killed animals. It's always a little bit tougher whenever you kill animals on TV, see them die, right? And I was surprised I actually showed the blood coming out of the horse. It was super dark. But then, almost to make it comedic, she goes up with the horse blood, right? While Coco, the little baby, Rosia's baby, was like petting the horse. They're at the horse together. And then Carol's washing dead horse off of her hands. That shit was funny as fuck. Just so super dark, right? But I love the contrast there. Awesome. And let's see. Just shows how dark the world is and how they want it to be, but it's not really like that, And then it's just Negan and Maggie off by themselves. I like how Negan goes up to the zombie and pretty much hits it with the crowbar like it's a baseball bat, because that's what he's so used to doing. And Maggie just kind of looks at him like, she's probably getting bad flashbacks or something. But they're all they got, right? And they need each other to survive now. So they go off. So it's going to be interesting to see them again. I'm not sure what's going to be in the next episode. I didn't see a preview for the next episode yet. But yeah, hopefully we'll get some more Commonwealth stuff. And then wrapping back around to Negan and Maggie should be super awesome as well. And so good episode. Really liked it for the most part, as you can tell. And hopefully they keep it up for the rest of the season. I think they will. So thank you for watching. And I will see you guys in the next video.